time since I have posted a video, but I'm back and I'm going to be talking about what I've read in 2020 so far. I've read 22 books so far this year. My goal is 75, so I'm doing pretty good. Goodreads tells me I'm 3 books behind, but Goodreads needs to mind its damn business. Thank you very much. I'm going to be talking about them in the order that I read them. So starting with January, and in January I read 3 books. So the first book I read this year was The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which was a great start to the year. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. It was super cute. It's been a while, so I can't really remember anything. But I know it's about this girl, her twin sister's wedding happens, and at the reception, like, everybody gets food poisoning, so the bride and the groom can't go on the honeymoon, so she makes her twin sister, who's the maid of honor, and the best man go on the honeymoon together, and they have to pretend that they're married. I loved it. Okay, so the second book that I read in January was not very good. It was Angel Fall by Susan E. I still have this. I'm planning on unhauling it, but with everything going on, I really haven't had the opportunity to do so. So I give this 2 stars. It was not very good. I thought it was kind of boring. I didn't care about any of the characters. This is about like an angel apocalypse type thing. Yeah, I just didn't care about it. I didn't really like the writing. I thought it was boring. I didn't care about the romance. So I gave it 2 stars. So the last book I read in January was Waiting for Tom Hanks by Carrie Winfrey. I gave this book initially 3.75 stars, but I think I'm going to bring it down to a 3 star. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked the romance. I liked the main love interest, but I should have known by the title that it was going to reference rom-coms a lot, and I just personally don't watch a lot of I don't personally watch a lot of rom-coms, so I just didn't understand the references, and I don't like when there are references in books and I can't understand them, which is like stupid, and that's like not the author's fault. It's just something that I don't like. I don't know, I liked the main character. I thought she was cute, but she was just like a little annoying to me. But I would recommend this book. It's really cute. The main interest is a celebrity, and I love when the main interest is the love interest is a celebrity, and the main character is like a normal person. I live for that shit. In February, I only read 2 books, but I gave them both 5 stars, so I guess that's still great. So the first book I read was the graphic novel The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. I thought this was so freaking cute. I loved the art. Look at the art. I thought the story was cute. I love the idea of this prince, like, at night being the hottest fashion icon, like, in the world. Like, I really loved that, and I loved the romance. I thought it was so sweet. This book is just like a little baby. I loved it. It was so cute. And then the other book I read in February was Fixer Up by Tessa Bailey, and I feel like this is a book that a lot of people don't like, which I can definitely understand, but one of the things I did really like about Fixer Up, which I think people didn't like, is the sex scenes. I'm just like, I've read a lot of romance that the sex scenes are kind of like fade to black, and I just like am getting kind of tired of it. So I love that this just like went into detail and like wasn't afraid to shy away from it. I actually really liked the cast of characters. I liked that her family owned a renovation business, and she was kind of like the outsider because she was a clown, which that was like the only thing I didn't like about the book, was the fact that she's a clown, but I just am afraid of clowns, so that was my like only gripe with this book, and I know like people don't like it, which I totally understand, but like this was definitely my jam. Okay, so what comes after February? Okay, so in March I read a good amount of books. I read some comics and stuff. So the first thing I read was, I have it in here to keep it safe, I read all 8 issues of House of M. Who's this by? Brian Michael Bendis. I gave, overall, I think I gave it 4 stars because there were some issues that I really liked and some that I was like, eh. But overall, I had a really good time. I really liked the art, and it was really cool seeing like all my favorite characters like fight each other. Love that for me. The next book I read was Well Met by Jen DeLuca, and I really loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. I just really liked the idea of, what is it, a Renaissance fair? Hold on. Yes. Okay. I really like the idea of it being like at a Renaissance fair and like getting ready for Renaissance fair. I've never read any book about a Renaissance fair ever. So I like that, and I loved the relationship between the 2 main characters. I loved, what's his name? What's his name? Okay. Simon. So I love that Simon was like a really hot pirate. I love a hot pirate. So, and I just thought this was cute, and I liked the relationship between Emily, the main character, and her sister and her little niece, right? Yeah. So I liked the relationship Emily had with her sister and her younger niece, and it was just cute and I loved it. Next book I read was this graphic novel, Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me by Mariko Tamiki and Rosemary Valero O'Connell. I got this book in October when I went to New York Comic Con, and I got it signed by the both of them. And I've been kind of, I don't know, I've been putting it off, but I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked the art style, like how it's mostly, wait, I don't want to show any spoilers, how it's like mostly in black and white with like little bits of pink. I really enjoyed that. And I just really thought it was a really good story about like high school relationships and like how dramatic they can feel, you know? I really liked it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Last book I read in March was this Spider-Man Homecoming Prelude. I gave it 2 stars. A lot of these like Marvel movie Prelude comics aren't very good, but I read them anyways because a lot of the time I find them really cheap on sale. I think the thing I didn't like about this is that basically it's just like Civil War, like the movie Civil War in a comic book, when there's like at least, I think it's like 4 to 6 months between Civil War and Homecoming. So there could have been so much that could have been done in this comic. Like if you've seen Civil War, you don't need to read this comic. Like they have other Spider-Man comics in it. Like they have some old ones which I enjoyed. And they have, I think they have an Invincible Iron Man. Yeah, they have Invincible Iron Man, but I've already read that. Yeah, I've already read Invincible Iron Man. So I was kind of annoyed at that because I'd already read it, so I was like, well, I guess I had to fucking read it again. April was another good reading month for me. I read a lot of books. The first book I read, I don't have with me because I gave it to my brother to borrow, and that is Final Girls by Riley Sager. I gave Final Girls a 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. I had fun reading it. I read it in like one sitting. But there's like so much hype around Riley Sager that I was kind of expecting more, and I just didn't get it. I really like the concept though, and I think it would be translated really well into a movie. So So the book I read after Final Girls was Running with Lions by Julian Winters. I thought this was really cute. The main character, Sebastian, is bisexual, which I was really excited to read about a bisexual main character. I really liked how diverse all of the characters were, as you can see on the cover, and it's about a soccer camp, and I don't really read sports books very often or like at all, so it was kind of refreshing, and I thought it was really cute. I loved the like relationship between the love interest and Sebastian. I think the love interest name's Amir. Yes. But I really enjoyed this book. I gave it, did I say what? I think I gave it 4 stars. I just didn't really like the writing all that much, but I liked the story. I gave it 5 stars. It was cute, but there could have been more. I don't know. The next book I read, I gave 2 stars. Did I review this on Goodreads? I'm gonna have to read the review on Goodreads because... Oh, I did. Okay. Very long. I've been reviewing a lot of books I rate like 3 stars and lower on Goodreads just because I find it easier to talk about what I don't like in books more than what I do like. So if you want to add me on Goodreads, go ahead. It'll be in the description bar below. So I read Tell Me 3 Things by Julie Buxbaum. So Tell Me 3 Things is about this girl. I think she moves to California, and somehow this student in her school gets her email and like emails her like warning her about the school, like a long email. And she like, I didn't realize this, but like she's like counting like how many, this is not a spoiler, it literally says it on the first page, like how many days it's been since like her mom dies, like 733 days after her mom dies. And like she basically has this conversation like with this person that she doesn't know who it is throughout the book, like through email, and there's like she's trying to figure out what guy it is. I'll like read some of my review. So basically it did make me cry though, but that's for like a different thing. All of my negative feelings outweighed that. So I despised, okay, this is what I said, quote, word for word. I despised the amount of girl hate in this book. The way Jessie spoke about other girls was so off-putting and gross. The way she described LA girls as thin and half naked pissed me off, and that was only 11 pages into the book. 11 pages into the book, that's what she had to say about LA girls. Another thing, okay, I don't want to I'm going to do a review because I don't want to spoil it, but I didn't enjoy this book. The next book I read in April, have I been saying March? I don't remember. The next book I read in April was a reread because I needed something after that 2-star book. So I reread The Finland Boyfriend by Casey West. This is one of my favorite Casey West books. Not my favorite, one of my favorites. I love the fake dating trope. It's one of my favorite tropes ever. So I really love this book, and it was a reread, so I just wanted to enjoy myself again. I gave 3 stars, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I'm also going to look at the review I wrote for this. Let's see. I said in my review that I wanted to give this 4 stars, but I just can't. It was fun and entertaining, but what else did I say? Okay, this book was fun and entertaining, but not my cup of tea. I've seen there's a lot of good reviews for this, and like I definitely understand that, but it's just not for me. I didn't really like the writing, to be honest. What I did like was the kind of like mixed media thing that she had going on. She has like entries from like her project and like interviews she has with people. So basically this book is about this girl, what's her name? Pip. So Pip decides to make her senior project on the investigation of like Andy Bell, who was murdered, and everyone just decided that it was her boyfriend Salil Singh. Like, they just say Salil killed Andy, like the case is closed, and then Pip is like, in her heart, believes that it's wrong, so she tries to solve the case. Okay, so one of the things that kind of threw me off for this book is that it takes place in Connecticut, but I'm literally reading off of my review. So it takes place in Connecticut, but I got zero Connecticut vibes from the book, and like being from Connecticut, like I would kind of know, and I always have a little bit of like high expectations when books are placed in Connecticut, just because I don't know, like no books ever take place in Connecticut. And Ninth House takes place in New Haven. I haven't finished it, but Leigh Bardugo does a really good job like describing New Haven and like the places that are there, and I know that's because she went to Yale, so she like knows the area really well. And then I found out that this book, the UK edition of this book, takes place in a small English town, which makes so much more sense. So I just wish they kept the setting, and I don't really know why they changed it for the US release. So, but it was okay, 3 stars. I would recommend, like, definitely check it out. You might like it. Started this book in April, but I did not finish it until May 1st. And that was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. So one of the things I really liked about this book was the fact that it took place on a private island, and I thought that the author did a really good job of creating a creepy and eerie atmosphere, but I did have some issues, I guess. I mean, I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. I just wanted a little bit more from it, I guess. All of the characters were pretty unlikable, but I don't think the characters have to be likable in order for a book to be successful. Like, I did still like this book. It just wasn't all that for me, which is, I think, an unpopular opinion. It seems like a lot of people really like this book, and I just kind of felt like meh about it, I guess. I kind of want to do a review on this because, like, the rest of my feelings, like some other books, are spoilery, and I don't want to spoil anyone. Yeah. So that's everything I've, like, completely read in 2020, and then I started to read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I'm really liking it so far. I'm on page 130. I'm about to start chapter 15. I'm really liking this so far. I have the other 2 books right here, as you can see. I waited to buy them. I waited to start ACOTAR until I bought all of the books. Well, I don't have A Court of Frost and Starlight, but I don't really care about that, to be honest. So I really like this. I started Ninth House. I have not finished it. I don't know if I will ever finish it. It's just taking a lot of time for me. I started The Secret History by John Hart, did not finish that, and I'm definitely not going to go back to that. Like, was not my jam. So, yeah. The only reason I picked up Ninth House is because I heard that it takes place in Connecticut. That is legit the only reason I picked that book up. So, am I dumb? Yes. Did I waste my book of the month credit on a book solely for the reason it takes place in Connecticut? Yes. But we can't go back to change our decisions. So we are here. Okay. So those are all the books I've read in 2020 so far. I hope, oh my god, I keep messing with this, sorry. I hope you guys enjoy this video. There will be more coming. I'm literally filming 2 videos back to back today. So, we are making a comeback, guys. So subscribe to my channel, like this video, you know, all of the things. And I will see you guys next week. Maybe in 2 days. Who knows? I don't know my upload schedule yet. I have not decided. Okay. I don't know how to end videos anymore. I will see you guys next time. Bye.